And recording. All right. What's up, guys? It's your boy Steve, NDO Podcast. All right. Today I'm joined with Jonas Harper and Jackson Ryan. Both of them are collegiate athletes. Respectfully, Jonas is at Boston University. JR is at Haverford. So I have them on today so we can just talk about their journeys to the point that they're in right now. Their goals, their dreams, their aspirations, and things of that nature. But what's up, guys?
What up, Steve? What's
up? So, little background story. I've known Jonas for a long time. His brother played with my brother, and then he was in fifth grade when I was a senior in high school. We went to the same school, and then full circle comes back around. I started coaching at St. Luke's, where I coached both of these guys, JR and Jonas, and so I've been training them ever since. And so that's our relationship and how kind of met these guys. And so, so let's start with Jackson. Give us a little bit background story with you, and where you came from to where you are now.
Yeah, so I was born in Cincinnati, Ohio. I grew up there till I was about 13. And then my dad worked for General Electric, and he got transferred to Connecticut and moved to Darien, Connecticut, which is where I ended up going to high school. I ended up playing mostly a lot of soccer at Darien. That was going to be my sport. I thought that was going to be my path. And then I started playing basketball in sixth grade. And then from there, I just started to like it more and more each year. And I played 3 years of varsity at Darien High. And then I transferred to St. Luke's in New Canaan, which is where I met Jonas, and started to kind of learn the game. Drew Gladstone kind of taught me how to play the game the right way. And ever since then, I kind of developed into a basketball player. You can see my development. I averaged 4 points a game my junior year, came off the bench for majority of the year. My senior year, I was averaging 15, 5, and 5. And from that on, I started getting looks from colleges. I ended up choosing Worcester Polytech, which was arguably the best Division III program in the Northeast. I think 21 seasons in a row. Really well-established coach. I really got along well with the team on my visit, so that's where I chose to go. And it isn't exactly what I thought was going to happen. So I got there in September. My first day of pickup, I tore my patella tendon. I met with the team doctor. I got some bad advice, so I decided to play through the season anyway. I ended up tearing it more. Me and the coach never really clicked. I kind of got written off by the whole coaching staff midway through the year, and that's when I decided that I think I'm going to transfer. And definitely that was probably the hardest part of my journey, being injured, not being able to prove myself. And then eventually I got to the spring, and I started looking at schools, and I got really lucky. Coach Doherty, who I was recruited by the summer of my senior year, reached out to me and said, "I heard you were thinking about transferring. We'd love to have you at Haverford." And he just gave me a chance. A lot of schools, when I got hurt, they said, "No, we don't want to deal with your knee." A lot of the same schools that were recruiting me out of high school didn't want me anymore. Haverford was one of the only ones, and he gave me a chance, and I took advantage. We had our, I think, second best record in school history last year. Going to be coming back next year, arguably probably going to finish preseason top 5 in the league at least, and it's one of the best conferences in college basketball for Division III.
That's huge. Yeah. I was keeping up, and so I know you guys, it's your best record freaking since like 1975 or something like that. That's an attribute to, you know, the coaching staff, what they did there, turning the program around. And obviously you were a starter playing, you know, 25 to 30 minutes a game too. You know, so it's just like you had a big part in that. So that's you know, that's like you said, I'm me personally as a trainer, as I'm proud of you for how far you've come. And obviously you're not done. So that's the most exciting part, I think, that you got 2 years to really get to where you want to get to, you know, which would probably be to the NCAA tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, Haverford's never been to the NCAA tournament. We're not really a basketball school. Like, people never really, they just think academics when they think of Haverford. And we got a really good group of guys coming in. We think we can possibly beat teams like SWAT and Johns Hopkins. But I'm definitely looking forward to the challenge.
Yep, that's what I like to hear. All right, so we'll let's skip to let's go to Jonas now. So Jonas, let's learn a little bit about your story. You know, where you grew up, and then, you know, basketball, the role it played, and to where you are now.
All right, so I'm from Stamford, Connecticut, but my whole family's from Chicago. So pretty much growing up, every summer I would go to Chicago and I'd play with my older cousins, older siblings, and stuff like that. And we would always just play outside in the front driveway, basketball, football, baseball, any kind of sport really. And then usually I went to St. Luke's, like you said, 5th grade year. And then I met you, probably you were a senior. I think we were in like a little mentor program or whatever like that. But I talked to you mostly in my 5th grade year. And then as we built a bond, my older brother played with your younger brother in basketball. And I think our dads coached them. So I was always been around basketball. And I think until freshman or sophomore year, I was playing 3 sports, just playing basketball, baseball, and football. And then I decided to focus more on basketball. I think AAU definitely helped that. I was playing basketball year round, and I really wanted to focus on one sport in order to play on the collegiate level. So I guess freshman year is when I kind of like started growing a little bit. I hit a pretty big growth spurt, and I just started taking the game way more seriously. And I think that's when Drew came, and he really worked with me off the court, helped me work out, like become a better point guard where I wanted to improve my skills and stuff like that. So I really took the game really seriously my freshman year. And then sophomore year, I started to get more recognition from colleges. Still a little bit under recruited, but I was definitely picking up more looks than I had before. And then junior and senior came, and I was a little bit under recruited, but I decided to choose where our teammate Walter White goes, Boston University. So I committed to Boston University, and then my freshman year, I did better than expected. I made all rookie team. I kind of like surprised a lot of people when I played. I think I really tried to give my all when I came to Boston University my freshman year, and just trying to prove people wrong that I do deserve to be in this level. And then recently, sophomore year, we just won our Patriot League championship. We were supposed to go to March Madness, but due to the coronavirus, it was canceled. So we were like pretty much the last team to play in our championship game. So I was really thankful for that. But sophomore year, I definitely improved. I saw myself starting more. I started every game except for one. I think it was senior night. But I definitely became, I think, a better player overall, smarter and more aware of my surroundings in the game, and just I became like more of a leader and just more confident in myself. And I think that really helped and showed on the court. I think I really improved in that aspect, and I think that really helped the team win. So that's my story so far.
That's huge. That's huge, man. Yeah. So, you know, like I said, everyone has their own journey to get to where they are, and that's why I kind of really want to, you know, I wanted to get you guys on here just to each talk about your experiences and, you know, just maybe, I don't know, the next player like in your guys' situation. I think, to be honest, you know, I was coaching you guys, so I'm a little biased, but well, obviously I think you guys are really talented, but both of you guys, I think you guys are, you know, underrated, and, you know, the things that you guys are able to do is underappreciated. And that's the one issue I think I have, you know, with some coaches. Just some coaches are really good at picking up talent and things like that, but then there's a couple of coaches that I think that, you know, should do a little bit more research and, you know, do the due diligence and getting to know you guys as people, because a coach can really have effect and help a player get to if you have a bad relationship, it can go a whole different route. So I think with JR, you kind of saw that he thought it was going to be one way, it ended up being another way, but it ended up being the best thing because he got another opportunity, and I think I would say you're happier, correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I think it's kind of just God's plan for me. It didn't work out right away at WPI. I had to get surgery that off season. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to play college basketball anymore, but I just knew that Haverford was the right place for me. And when I got there, the coach just took me in like I had been there for years.
Yeah. So now I got a question for both of y'all. I mean, you guys are basically like brothers too. Like the whole thing I love with basketball, it brings people really close. You guys form bonds and friendships that last a lifetime. So, but as players, what do you guys feel like you guys need to work on? Or let's start with your strengths. What are your strengths? And then, give your weaknesses and how you're addressing them, how you're going to address them this off season. So let's start, Jonas, let's start with you and then we'll go to JR.
I would say more in high school, I was more of especially late in high school, I was more of a scorer. I could really score in all levels. And then I had defense here and there, but I feel like in college, my freshman year, I was labeled more as just a catch and shoot person. So I shot the ball really well from like 3-point line. And then I made a name for myself on the defensive side. So I really took that way more seriously. But I feel like, I guess, especially next year with Max being gone, I definitely have to focus on being more of a playmaker again and scoring in all three levels, not trying to be predictable, not trying to be just labeled as catch and shoot person. I just want to, for this offseason, I want to work on like different ways of scoring, whether that's pull up, finishing, different ways around the rim, just improve my ball handling aspect of it too. And also get stronger and more explosive and quicker. And all that comes with like, just, I don't know, like leg workouts and all that stuff. But I guess just wanted to become like a better overall player and just become smarter about the game as a whole. But I feel like in order for my game to take the next step, I have to definitely become more aggressive, confident in myself, improve on what I already do well, which is like shooting and defense, but also add to my game in terms of like creating space for myself, getting my shots off, and just staying aggressive all times.
Yeah, for sure. All right, JR, what about you?
I'd say it's actually pretty similar to Jonas this past year. I mean, this was my first year playing college basketball, so I was kind of just getting my feet wet, like, because it's completely different than high school. But I kind of just became our like defender. They would throw me on whoever on the other team. Like I was guarding All-Americans towards the end of the year. I think I was one of the better guard defenders in our league. But on offense, I was mostly just a catch and shoot guy. I mean, our system last year was definitely get it inside. And we're graduating 6 seniors. So I think it's going to be a big step for me. And my coach is kind of counting on me and a couple other guys to be able to make more plays by themselves and create shots for themselves. So that's what I'm working on. I think a big weakness of mine is being able to create for myself. I've always been kind of just a playmaker in high school and especially last year. And then the other thing is get my legs stronger, especially coming off an injury. Like this past year, I didn't really have great strength. So this offseason, I'm definitely going to put an emphasis on getting in the weight room.
Word. So, no, that's good. Like that a huge part of the development is understanding your strengths and weaknesses, in my opinion. So for all the hoopers that get to watch this or listen to this too, really take that into consideration. Know you as a player and know what you need to get better on, because those are the players that are really going to take their game to another level if they have the motivation to do that. Now, and the other thing, too, that I definitely want to point out is just make sure you guys are in communication with your coaches about it. Just, asking them, what they see for you in this coming year. and just let them know what you're working on, because I think with the open communication, that's going to help you guys, develop a relationship off the court, and then it leads to a better relationship off the court can lead to a good relation on the court, because he'll trust you to do more things for the team in a positive way. So that's my 2 cents on that. Now, I'm going to ask one more question. So what are your dreams long term, outside of just basketball? Is it just, you guys, obviously if you want to be a pro, I want to hear that too, but like, is it basketball? Is it something else? Like, what do you guys got? JR, what you got?
I think my short-term goal is to have a great 2 years at Haverford and hopefully play basketball at the highest level and like professionally somewhere in Europe. Kid from Darien, like you've never heard of a kid from Darien going and playing overseas. So that's kind of been like a fuel and a chip on my shoulder throughout high school and throughout this past year. But long term, I just want to hopefully be able to make a difference in people's lives after I play basketball, and find some type of work that makes an impact on communities and use my Haverford degree to help people out in some way.
I like that. I definitely respect that. Jonas, what about you?
I would say my short-term goal is right now I want to be a 1,000-point scorer in the collegiate level. I feel like I'm on track to do so, but I feel like that's like a personal goal that I always wanted to do. And then I also want to go to March Madness. I know we were supposed to go this year, but we got cut short, so I want to go again. Hopefully win the Patriot League again next year, and then go to March Madness and play some of these teams and upset a team. And then I would say, long term, I definitely want to try and go pro as far as I can go. Honestly, the highest level, I feel like there's no limits. Dream big and then hope for the best, honestly. So I feel like I just want to play at like a pro level wherever that is, whether that's overseas, NBA, anything like that. So I just want to take this basketball thing as far as I can go. And then I also I agree with JR, like just impact people's lives, like use my BU degree and change someone's life. I know I'm majoring in sociology and business right now, so I just want to impact a kid's life from Stanford or for anywhere, honestly, that don't have the opportunity that I do. So that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to.
That's huge, man. That's what I like to hear. That's why I think that I'm doing what I'm doing just because I want to be able to give back, and a lot of you guys know that just through basketball, and then obviously all the stuff off the court. All right, one last question before I'm gonna cut it off here. What is one or two things you could tell your younger self, basketball related or not basketball related? Some advice. So, Jonas, you go first, real quick.
I would say enjoy it. Enjoy the moments you share with your teammates and people around you. Like there are times in high school where I was focused a lot on recruiting and didn't let that stuff come naturally. So I lost the fun in it for a little bit. And then I would say definitely just enjoy the process. I know it's going to be hard at times, but just keep pushing through it. And also I would also say just stay motivated, stay engaged in what you're doing, whether it's basketball or anything in life. Honestly, just if you're going to do something, just give it all your effort. There's no point of half-assing it, honestly. So just give it your all. That's all I'm gonna say.
No, that's good. That's good stuff right there. Just like, well, and it's not easy to have it like that, in terms of just that mentality to give it all, give it your all, and that's something that takes work, just like anything. So I like that. So JR, on to you. What would you tell younger JR?
I would definitely tell him to have patience. Like nothing in life is gonna come like that. When I had my knee surgery, I started following Isaiah Thomas, and he went through a lot of injuries as well. And he came up with this slow grind mentality, like working every day to get a little bit better, and let people kind of influence your life and let you get through tough times. Like listen to people's advice. Like my dad put this quote up on my door when I was going through my transfer process, my knee process, he said, Winston Churchill quote, "Those destined for greatness must first walk alone in the desert." And my desert was when I was getting written off by WPI coach, had knee surgery, wasn't sure if I was going to play anymore. Everybody goes through their desert, and I kind of got through it with my family and my friends. Then I would definitely echo Jonas's enjoy it moment. Like enjoy the moments. Just in high school, like you're always worried about getting to that next level, but high school basketball, there's nothing like it. Like it's just a lot of fun, and you build relationships that last forever.
No, yeah, I totally get that. Man, those are just, that's how we're gonna end it, man. Just end on those gems. So, thank you guys.
You're gonna sound stupid.
All right, so we're back. So I had to cut the last part really short, so we ended it. But actually, I'm gonna bring it back because we're using Zoom to record this, and Zoom gives me 40 minutes free, and so we're gonna come back with this and continue to ask questions because I didn't even think about combining two videos together. Anyway, so let's take a deeper dive into this. So let's talk about what is it like day in the life of a student athlete? Because I know a lot of kids that I train, they want to play at the highest level possible. I think college is that. I mean, a lot of kids get to play high school, but not everyone gets to play college ball, right? So, what's a day in life of a student athlete, and then what's the most challenging thing you guys have to do as a student athlete? Start with JR.
So my day in the life has probably changed a little bit over the past year. WPI is a lot different than Haverford in terms of workload academically, but the first thing, and my parents kind of instilled this in me at a young age, was get your academics done first. I think that's probably why I was able to go to school like Haverford. But that takes up like 2/3 of my time every day between classes and homework. And then it's kind of up to you how much time you want to put towards basketball, how much time you want to like put towards seeing your friends, all that, like FaceTiming other people. Like, and for me, a lot of my fall was in the gym because I didn't have a summer. So I didn't have a summer to get better because of my knee. So I kind of had to like cut a lot of things out of my life, like going out to see people at parties and all that. So, I mean, a day in life for me was just books and ball, honestly. Like it was just getting to the gym after class. But I'd say at the Division III level, it's a little bit different than for Jonas because we don't have mandatory like lifts and things like that. So it's kind of what you put in is what you get out. Nobody's forcing you to get into the weight room. Nobody's forcing you to put in work with coaches because you can't. Like at Division III level, you can't work out with coaches. So that's kind of what my life has been like over the past year.
Okay, and so Jonas, what do you deal with?
So I'll say like I'll talk about pretty much like the fall before the season started. So I guess we wake up in the morning around like 6. You probably have like a 6:30 a.m. like lift. So it'd be like a mandatory lift for like the team. That's about an hour 15, and then you would go to class. So my class schedule was usually from like 8 to 2-ish. So you would find a way between classes to get like a snack or lunch and stuff like that. But you pretty much have class the rest of the day. And then you would have practice. Our practice from like 3:30ish to like 5:45. And then I guess I would always stay after for like an extra 30 minutes to do some workouts. So I would end around like 6:30. And then after that, you go to the dining hall, eat food with everyone for like an hour, and then you go to study hall. So we have mandatory study hall hours. You need like 8 hours a week. So I'd pretty much end my day around 9:30, 10-ish with all homework and stuff like that. And you got a little bit of time to go back to your room and unwind and just relax for a little bit. But then you repeat that every day. That's out of it's pretty challenging, I guess. Managing your time was probably the most difficult thing coming in when I was a freshman. Didn't know how to manage my time really well, so like that kind of hurt me. But I got used to the schedule and used to like my priorities. Putting school definitely first, and then basketball after, and less time for going out, people, and more time into like the classroom and just staying focused in basketball. So if that's what you want, I mean, it definitely helps to just focus on two things instead of seeing everybody. You know, you got to sacrifice something if you really want to be good at something. So that was my sacrifice, going out to parties every weekend. You could still go out, but just limiting it, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's, I mean, like you said, I think you guys, you know, are at two different spots and like are hitting the spectrum, and the overall topic is just time management, you know. So for the young hoopers that are listening, time management skills, if you can understand that now, you'll be ahead of the game, it sounds like. You know, and to be honest, like that was the same thing with me when I was in college. It was just like that first initial phase of just like, you have time because you're on your own. Like you take care of your homework, you take care of everything. You choose when to go eat, you choose, except the only thing you couldn't really pick was obviously practice time, but everything else was up to you. So yeah, so like for as an athlete, do you guys feel that do you guys think you guys miss out on stuff regular students do, or do you just enjoy, would you rather be a regular student, or you really enjoy being a student athlete?
You want to take this one, Jonas?
Yeah, I got you. Personally, me, I really enjoy being a student athlete. There are a lot of hardships that come with it. I mean, you're pretty much always going to be watched by someone. You represent the school, so you have more pressure than other students. And at times you feel like it's unfair that the regular students get, I guess, more attention from like teachers and stuff like that, because sometimes you're missing class. So it's kind of difficult to like finish assignments on time and stuff like that. But I feel like that's just the life you choose. That's if you really love the sport you're playing, you just gotta deal with it and just make the best out of it. But I really like the student athlete way. Although if you were not an athlete, you have a lot of time on your hands, and I feel like I would just get bored, honestly. So I feel like it just keeps me busy, keeps me staying out of trouble. It keeps me in shape, and it just teaches me how to work with a group, with a group. It's like basically it's like a job. I mean, you're there all the time. You're there working out with your team, your coaches. So it's pretty much like a full-time job. It just helps you for the real world.
JR?
Yeah, I mean, I think Jonas said a lot of good stuff. Going off of what he said, I think the number one reason why I want to be a student athlete is because I get to continue playing basketball. And it's what I love. It's what I want to spend my life doing as long as I can. I mean, obviously it's a little bit different because nobody's forcing me to like play. I mean, at Division I, you have a scholarship. At Division III, like you don't have a scholarship, but you're just playing because you want to. And I'd say I also think basketball and being a student athlete in general is good for preparing you for life after basketball. I mean, you're gonna experience different things working with a team. You're gonna experience different hardships while you're playing a sport, and you gotta like learn to deal with like people that you don't necessarily get along with. And I think that's gonna prepare me well after my years of playing.
Yeah, no, that's and go ahead.
That's all I have to say really about that.
Yeah, no, the reason why I ask is it's just because I wanted to. I mean, if you guys answer differently, I mean, it's your opinion, but like, the reason why I asked is just like a lot of kids want to go play college ball or like play at the highest level in college, but they don't realize, you know, how much work it is, and you know, how much responsibility it is, and it's not for everybody. So that's the reason why I brought that up. And to your point, like you just said, JR, I think, sports is the closest thing to prepare somebody outside of, in life, just because, like you said, you go through adversity, you got to learn how to work with the team. You have to, you develop work ethic and work skills and habits where you have to either work hard or work smart and things like that. So it's very important, in my opinion. Just like, I think that's why I'm as good as I am at what I do, is because of sports, it put me in this position. And I think with you guys, it'll do the same. And so it was more of a question for the viewers or the listeners, just to hear, from current college athletes, what's the difference, or would you rather be a regular student for one day or for a couple, whatever. Now I'm going to bring it back really quickly, because I know kids are going to ask too. Can we talk about, you guys briefly touched on it, your recruiting process. So let's, go back to high school really quickly. And, what was the AAU scene for you like? What were camps like? When did schools start contacting you and things like that? Let's go, I guess, JR.
So for me, I was looked at by a few schools starting my sophomore year. I think WPI was actually the first school to reach out to me. But recruiting really started to pick up for me when I transferred my junior year to St. Luke's. You get a lot of notoriety when you win the amount of games that we won, playing at like certain showcases and things like that. Especially, I'd say a person that got me the connections was Paul Crummins with ABC, along with Coach Drew. He connected me with like every Division III coach in the Northeast. And I was in contact with a ton of coaches my junior year. I had like the fortunate opportunity of getting to pick and choose kind of which schools wanted me, and which schools I wanted to go to. But that was kind of the process for me, and it was a lot easier than a lot of other people. But
yeah. Jonas, what about you?
I would say beginning of freshman year, I started getting a little bit more attention around like the state, and a little bit worldwide, like notice to, I guess, around the AAU circuit and stuff like that. And then I think recruiting kind of picked up my sophomore year. I started playing. I went from Stanford Peace to PSA Cardinals, and I started playing on like a higher AAU circuit. That's when I caught my first offer from Boston University. So I feel like recruitment really started picking up sophomore year, and then junior year, it kind of slowed down a little bit. I hurt my ankle. I was in a boot for about majority of my junior season for AAU, so that kind of hurt my recruitment. And then senior year, it kind of went back up a little bit, but it just stayed consistent. I guess it wasn't as high as I thought it was going to be. So I got my second offer from Robert Morris. So I was pretty under recruited going into college, and it was a tough decision in choosing what schools to go to, whether I was in a post grad another year and then give another try, or just go straight into college. But I just decided to just stick it out and go to BU. And it was honestly a great decision. It was the best decision I could make in my life. So.
Got you. Yeah, and the reason why I wanted to bring that up, because a lot of kids ask that question, but everyone's journey, like I said earlier, everyone's journey is different. So everyone has to go through whatever they have to go through to get to where they got to go. And both of you done that, but just the process of it, both of you guys sounded like, there takes a little bit of thinking, there takes a little bit of contemplating and trying to figure out. It's a big decision. I think it's probably one of your biggest decisions of your life, one of the first huge ones. And, so there's a little bit of pressure for you guys. I know it was pressure for me, just trying to figure it out. And I think players today are a little more educated on it. If I had a little better knowledge of what I back then, I think I would have been in a different spot. But like I said, everything happens for a reason. But I think that with your guys' generation, right, there's a lot of people that don't get the recognition that they deserve. Like you guys, like I said, I'm a little biased, but I think you guys are really talented. So a lot of people look at social media and think like, oh, I can do that. I could play him, and not getting the full picture of who the person is. So, so here's another question. So like, I see a lot of, kids say ball is life, or like post them working out, or they start these little cliques and whatnot. Like, what do you guys feel about that? Like, I honestly, it bothers me sometimes, just because, I grew up, social media just starting to come out when I was in high school. But we really didn't really have anything. I think there was one phrase that I heard. It was called BOB. I'm not going to break down the acronym for that, but it was something that I heard, but like, it wasn't like a crazy thing. But now it's like, it's normal to have something like that. And so what do you guys think about that? Like, why is being associated with that so important? Like I said, I think it's stupid. I think you should just hoop. Like, okay, you could put your workout stuff up or whatnot here and there, but I don't think you guys should be posting everything. Like, for me, I'm a trainer, so I have to post stuff. But like, you get what I'm saying? So anyway, I want to hear you guys talk.
Yeah.
I would
like, go on that.
All right, go for it.
Actually, you go on that. Go on that.
So, when I was growing up, I had an older brother who like kind of taught me like that stuff is like worthless. Like, when you work out for yourself. Like, you work out to get better. You don't work out for the clout. And I find like over my journey, the people that do it for the clout don't make it. Like, they just get to that level and then they fall off. Like, I saw that at WPI. I think there was 8 kids in my class, and they're like, "Oh, I'm playing college basketball," and then they just quit. Like, people don't know the amount of work it takes in to play at a level like Division III, and like it takes even that much more to play at Division I. Like, a lot of kids right now think like posting workouts will like make them popular, make them look good, but what makes you look good is getting better on your own and like performing under the bright lights.
I agree. Go ahead, Jay.
So the person that taught me, like, I guess the grind in silence, when I was in 5th grade, I remember I had an AU tournament, and I think I scored like 30 points or whatever. And then I went on Twitter. Young kid went on Twitter and said, "Oh, just drop 30 points or whatever like that." And I remember it was a old teacher, Mr. Holyfield. So we had a whole meeting. He sat me down. And he just taught me like to be humble and not to, there's no need to post that, because people are gonna see and notice you. There's no need to broadcast that to the world. So honestly, from that point on, I really thought there was no need. It was unnecessary to just post. Okay, I'm doing this and that. I scored this many points. I'm working out. I'm like, there's no need. Just grind in silence, and if you're gonna get noticed, like, there's no need to post on social media and stuff like that. I think it's kind of unnecessary. I don't do it, but I guess that today the kids nowadays, that's all they focus on: social media, Instagram, Twitter, showing everybody like, "Oh, I'm putting in work. Are you doing that?" But honestly, I think it's just a waste, because while you're doing that, another person's just working low key, and then social media and all the ranking stuff is going to help you when the lights come on if you play them. So I think it's best to grind in silence and just keep like that.
We always find out who's been putting in work when the pressure's on. That's all I'll say.
Yep. Social media can't help you, man.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. It's just like, to be honest, like I said, you guys were lucky enough to have people there. Like I said, I didn't have the knowledge back then. Like, we didn't have, social media was just getting good. But like, for me, it was more like you said, the rankings. It was like, I wanted some acknowledgement, and that was the only way I could think of, instead of focusing on playing every game hard, killing every game. And I used to work out regardless. I always worked out. I was a workout horse. It was more about getting the recognition and not thinking that I had to be ranked, which is completely false, to get to a good school. That's something. And then obviously, like you said, doing the things for the right reason, not for the clout. And that's my one big pet peeve that I have right now with a lot of ballers today, that they do stuff for likes, for followers, to get stuff. And you know, things are changing where athletes can get paid. And you know, I just think that I like the idea of you guys being able to build your brand like you. So that's something that there's got to be a balance, in my opinion, right? Like, not too much social media, like all that stuff, but like at the same time, I get that you're going to want to be able to have your own persona and establish yourself, and that social media is the route now, right? So, I mean, what do you think about that? Being able to establish yourself as a brand, and then, you know, maybe getting paid for it. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. I know athletes nowadays aren't getting paid, but we're making all the pretty much making all the money for the school. It's honestly like, it's definitely a step. Honestly, that's all I can say. Like, step in the right direction. Like, I honestly think there should be, like you said, there should be a balance. There's no need to post everything you're doing on social media just to just get like money and endorsements, stuff like that, because that just loses the fun in the game, I guess, at a point. I guess it just loses the fun in the game if you're just only focusing on the money aspect of it, but you're not really there for the right reason. So I guess it honestly depends on each person, but it's definitely a step in the right direction. I think it's definitely going to improve and become greater as time goes on.
Yeah, Jared, what are your thoughts of, so like, I mean, to that is the reason why I brought it up, because the NCAA is talking about letting players get paid for their likeness and their pictures and stuff. That means, I'm hoping that means NCAA college basketball comes back and all that good stuff, but in college football. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I did a econ project and I argued about why NCAA players should be paid. I think I did it with Walt or something. Maybe it was Joel in my economics class my senior or my junior year. But I have always believed that players that are getting people to come to the arena should be compensated in some way. Like, they're the reason why people are paying attention to the sport. And I agree with Jonas that it's a step in the right direction. I think social media is a little bit different because, as far as I know, like, kids can make money off social media as long as they're not playing in the NCAA. But now, like, the NCAA is going to pay its players, hopefully. Not pay its players, but like, they can make money off their likeness.
Yeah, I saw that. As long as the school's not paying them, it's fine.
Yeah.
A third party, which is huge in my opinion, especially for like agents and stuff. I mean, this is going beyond just like basketball. It's just I think it's right. Just because, and then we could talk about this another time. Just like the whole idea of just education. People think that just getting a free education in terms of the scholarship level is good enough, but you know, if you look at the amount of money the big schools are bringing in, it's really not fair. But yeah, I mean, so I'm gonna ask a couple of nice fun questions, quick rounds. Favorite food, favorite sport outside of basketball, and then favorite basketball player. So one more time. Favorite food, favorite sport outside of basketball, and favorite basketball player.
You want to go?
I'll go. I'm going to start with favorite sport outside of basketball. Is definitely soccer. I love soccer. I'm not as much as I love basketball, but my mom played soccer in college, and I think I was dribbling a soccer ball at like age 3 with like my older brother, and I definitely say soccer for that. Favorite NBA player. I mean, when Isaiah Thomas was healthy, it was definitely him when he was playing for the Celtics. I'd say today it's probably Jason Tatum. Who's better than Paul George at Jonas. But yeah, my favorite food is probably, Like if I had to say a restaurant, probably Fleming Steakhouse in Ardmore, Pennsylvania.
Wow.
It's a good spot.
Specific.
A good steak, bro.
Yeah. All right, it's your turn.
All right. This might sound unhealthy, but don't even care at this point. I would say favorite food, triple cheeseburger with extra mayo. The burgers are triple cheeseburgers with extra mayo. Mayo is the best condiment. Don't get it twisted. And then I would say my second favorite sport was definitely football. I played that for as long as I can remember too. I stopped playing probably like sophomore year, I think. I always loved playing football. I still watch it to this day. I watch QB1. I watch Last Chance U, so I always love football. And I would say my favorite play. I have a lot of favorite players. It depends on like position wise. So for favorite point guard, I would say is Dame Lillard. But then my favorite overall player, gotta be Paul George. Paul George is just his bag is just deep. Paul George and my other boy Cam Reddish. You can never go just smooth bags. They got a deep skill set. Paul George plays both ends. He's best player in the league. I'm saying it right now. Other than KD, best player in the league.
Wow.
Don't at me. Don't at me.
Wow, that's
a hot take.
Huh?
Steve, what do you have to say about that? I think that's a little ridiculous.
That is a little outlandish, a little absurd. But everyone's entitled to their opinion, man. Like I can't. I'm just saying, like
ratchet.
Steve, can you answer those 3 questions for us?
You want mine? All right. So, my favorite food has to be a good bacon cheeseburger. You can't go wrong with that. In terms of sport outside of basketball, it's difficult. I watch a little bit of football. I'm not a huge soccer guy. I'll watch tennis. Tennis is cool. But I think that's really it. I haven't really thought about anything else. And then my favorite player right now in the current NBA, it's probably Steph. Just because I like his ability to dribble and shoot, and I can still somewhat play like that. He's the closest player. If I have to model a game after somebody, I'm going Steph. All right. I don't like to play defense, as you guys know. I don't play defense well. And so I like to shoot, dribble, and pass. Offensive.
I got a question for you, Steve.
Okay, what's the question?
This could be a wrapping up question. I got a question for you.
Okay.
So I was wondering, what's your why? Why did you choose this lifestyle? Why did you choose to become a trainer when you definitely could have been doing anything else? What's your why, Steve? That's my final question for this podcast.
Huh?
It's a lot of work.
That is.
So what's your why? What keeps you going, Steve?
The final thing for me is to be great. I'm striving for greatness, right? LeBron kind of made that popular, I guess. But at the end of the day, for me, I've always been an underdog, right? So my why is to be the best that I can be and help people become the best person they can be through this game that I love, right? And so I wake up every day. I'm trying to innovate. That's the one good thing about this whole coronavirus. Like, everything else is bad about it, but it's put us in a different space. It's challenging mentally, believe me. Like, I'm struggling. I struggle every day with it. But for me to be considered a top trainer amongst peers, I wouldn't want to do it for the recognition. I just would actually, that's wrong. I want to do it for the recognition. I want to be recognized as one of the best player development coaches in terms of basketball as well as helping them go through stuff as people and understanding the ins and outs. So I think that's a little selfish on my part because I do want to be recognized for it, but I think it's for the right reason because I want to be able to help others in a certain way. So like, I'll name drop, like Chris Brickley is one of those guys that he's at the level that I want to be at. The guy who I met, I consider my mentor is DJ Sackman, Tyler Ralph, Jordan Lawley. Like they're touching people all over the world through this game, making it fun and, which is why I'm trying to help. And I train you guys and something that I enjoy every day. And I want to help you guys be the best you guys can be. And if you guys can accomplish your goals, I hope I had something to help you along your journey, if that makes sense. That's kind of like my steal. Like, yeah, I helped him at one point to help him get his end.
Yeah. I'd say a big part of what you do is when somebody asks me like, oh, like, how do you know Steve Johnson? Like, I can't just say he's my trainer because you're like a lot more than that to me and Jonas. Like, you're kind of like a big brother to us. I think that's what separates you from a lot of people out there. Like you develop relationships with people. So I definitely say for you to keep doing that along the line.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah. So, I mean, that's the other thing. For some reason, your generation like listens to me. I don't know why. People my age look at me kind of funny, but you guys listen to what I have to say. And so if it gets through to somebody, I'm doing something right. So
haters gonna hate.
Yeah, it is what it is,
That's
man.
it.
No, seriously.
We're the underdogs now.
Yeah, exactly. We're underdogs, man. We'll give a quick shout out to my guy, Josh, Underdog Life. UL Josh on IG. Give him a shout out. He just started his brand.
Honestly, being an underdog.
So I want to.
It's better than ACGI.
Huh?
So it's better than ACGI.
Oh my goodness, we're not gonna do this. All right. So, hey guys, seriously, thank you guys for joining me. Now we're actually gonna say bye. All right. So we'll be working out. Keep grinding, everybody. Stay safe during this pandemic, so we can get back to life as we know it, and keep striving to be better and nourishing your body mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and just stay up. All right, so let's get it. Have a good night, fellas. No days off.
NDO train, let's get it.
NDO baby.
That's right.